Hello, welcome back to the channel again. Agilent U1273A, an OLED display multimeter. Barely been used, it's been collecting dust I should say. Even it's got the film on the screen protect on the screen, the so-called screen protector. And what do you know? The most common faults with these multimeters: the LCD failure or the OLED LCD display failure. Absolutely crazy. They're retailing for over £600, and this is what oh wow, okay. So anyway, let's get down to the repair. First thing first is I have received a clone display from offshore, which is this. That's what it looks like. So let's start by opening up the multimeter. 2 screws for the battery compartment. So the 4 AAA batteries have to come out, and then we'll start by probably, if there's, let me just see if I can remove this, okay, just so it creates an ease of access. And then we'll start by removing these screws, so probably get my electric screwdriver on. Maybe not so much of a good idea because I won't be able to reach them with that big tip, so let's try with that one. Yep, not bad. 4 screws holding the back. What you see here is a Bluetooth transmitter, and you can download the app, and you can connect it through your Bluetooth, and then the app will function via that, and give you all the readings on your mobile device. So that's one of the reasons why I bought it. I'm going to pop that open because that's not required at the moment. So 4 screws after you've taken the lid off. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. This will snap out, I believe, from the top. That's it. Just be careful, don't pull it too hard because you'll rip out the speaker cable. That's what the inside of the lid looks like. You got your speaker and the terminal, what I've just disconnected, so let's put that to a side. That's the PCB. So first of all, we'll start off with by taking these 4 screws. It's shocking, absolutely shocking. What a crap design, what a crap design. Even a couple of £100 multimeter, you'd expect it to last a very long time. I mean, this fluke, bulletproof. I've got to give them the credit. Still going. I've had it for quite a long period of time, longer than this. But that is still working. I kind of got caught up with investing on this O1 HDS 2202S, which is a 200 megahertz oscilloscope and multimeter. So it's a 20 megahertz signal generator as well, built in, which was a cracking thing. But I really like the display. Oscilloscope is. It's all right. It's good. I'm not going to say it's going to beat a standalone, a traditional oscilloscope, but it's okay. It's okay for general use, and So moving back onto this, once I've taken those 4 screws which are here off, just gently pull this out, put that to the side, and then you've got 1 more screws here. Screw, sorry, not screws. Screw. A screw. Right, so that's been taken care of. And then let me just see if there's anything else I'm missing out. No, not really, no. So what we're going to do is just going to gently pull this out. But yes, there is a catch here. There's two latches here that's holding the PCB down. So what you want to do is you want to put something to pray this side, but don't pull on the board, because you do that and you'll yank the board and you'll crack it. So let me find something that would do the job. So I've got this, and I'm going to gently, there you go, that's it. It's as simple as that. There we have it. Brilliant. And what do we know? There is the display, the culprit. So we'll soon find out. We'll soon find out. Just going to leave this covered like this with this cap bag here, like that, so I'm not having any dust going onto the, because that will just wind me up. All right, so let's put these screws there along with this, and then I've got 4 screws to take off. Now this sometimes comes off, be careful, I think, so you know, might just drop out, so be careful with that. Alright, so that's 1 screw. You know, it's, as I said, it's, if I've made a good use out of it, it's understandable. It's perfectly understandable that, you know, it's been utilised, but no, and it seems like it's a common problem on most of these Agilent multimeters. So you got these pin connectors, just gently wiggle left to right and that should come out. There we have it. The original one looks like this versus the aftermarket one. Let's get a comparison. So towards the right, that's the aftermarket, that's the original. And either you've got a fault here or the actual OLED display has failed, which is quite disappointing. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is, it is like for like. See, it's almost identical, apart from the reverse engineering here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pad off by applying a bit of heat at the back, and I don't want to be dropping this. I don't mind dropping this crap. Let's grab some, turn on this hot air station and apply some heat. I'll set my heat temperature, hot air station to 100 degrees Celsius. Just gently apply a bit of heat on it, just so that it softens the. What a time for both to go off. Just give me 1 sec. The fans come on. Got an air fan. Sort of, because I need to reapply that back onto the aftermarket LCD assembly. See how this pans out. So I need a pair of tweezers. Let's see if I can get this up. Yeah, I'll apply a bit of heat, a bit more heat. I have to do this while I'm like that, but there's no rush. Let's take our time. It's a very simple repair, very straightforward. Nothing too involving. Running. Very sticky stuff. Right, so again, not rushing it. No need to rush. There's no need to tear. Right, so that's the original one that's taken off. Let's get the aftermarket one. And just about in the centre of them two. That's what I would position it. Oh, that's some sticky adhesive, that. Doesn't have to be near perfect, but it'd be nice to have it on the centre. In the centre, I should say, sorry. Alright. So what we're going to do now is there is a protective film here. I'm going to take that off after. Let's get this installed. So it's pretty straightforward. As you can see, just gently, don't press on the LCD. Just gently hold it down. There we have it. Grab the 4 screws. Now the cost of this assembly was about £56. So it wasn't crazy money, but I wasn't happy sort of paying that, even considering the cost of the multimeter, and you know, absolute bonkers. Just firm tight. Okay, just go over them too. Yep, we're good to go. Now what I could do is I could start peeling off the sticker. Now you've got to be careful because you can very easily chip the corner, because on this instance they haven't given anything. The edge isn't sort of there, if it makes sense. So I'm going to put that there. Let's make sure there's no dust in there, because that will wind me up. And then just drop that in nice and gently. Make sure that nothing's the LCD or straight. You're going to have to drop it in flat but straight, not in an angle, because otherwise it's just going to get stuck. Now before we slide it in place, let's just make sure that there is nothing. If it's nice and sat flushed, I do see a little dust somewhere. Get a cotton bud. That little thing that would have made me take it apart again. Alright, so quite happy with that. Again, you're dropping it in flat, line everything up and just drop it in place flat, and then just get one end in, just click the other end, and there you go. Just toggle this over and just make sure that that's all intact. Make sure you can press all these buttons as well. Alright, so that's that, and something doesn't feel right here. Something doesn't feel right here, so let me reopen it back up again, because I'm not so sure. It should have just gone in, but I'm not quite sure why it's doing what it's doing. Alright, let's just see if there's anything that's gone out of context here, because it just doesn't feel right. Right, so nothing's been misplaced. So that should just fit in beautifully. So why is it messing about? Okay, something's happened. It's a bit of a weird one, this. It's a bit of a weird one, this. Again, it's all good and well, these expensive multimeters and expensive equipments, but if the quality isn't there, then absolute nonsense. they turn out to be. So okay, so single screw, the black screw goes back in its place. I'm going to gently poke this back in its place. Again, remember these, you don't want to be damaging these two pins that slots in here. Okay, so the pins there, it's a slot in here. Just gently make sure they don't force it in and bend those pins, because you'll be in a far more problem than what you began with. So let's see what's going on here. Why is this? Right, what's going on here? Right, this seems to be going in quite nicely. So is this. Alright, let's put the rest in and then we'll that seems to be going in fine. So why did I have a bit of an issue on this one? Maybe it's just the screw. Maybe it just wants to troll me. Make sure these are quite firm, because these screws needs to be quite firmly tight, because they're the ones that will be making contacts through these probe points into the PCB. So you do want to make sure that they're nicely snuggled, and don't over torque them because you will strip them, but just feel with your gut feelings. Right, next, speaker. Sort of get the right orientation. Just being a bit overcautious because I've not been very lucky with this multimeter. So okay, and then what would happen is just make sure that everything else is okay. Which it is. We'll put everything back in its place, only left with 4 screws. So therefore we're going to click the top in place and then boom. Alright, so 4 more screws needs to go back. I'm quite confident that this has done the trick, but with these type of screws, you don't want to over-thread. You don't want to cross-thread the housing. Otherwise, you'll be in a bigger problem again. So what I do is I did it with the electrical cordless drill, because I'm quite sort of used to it with that. Is to reverse turn until you should hear a click or some sort of movement. You now know then that is the threadings have lined up, and you can sort of go start tight screwing it clockwise. Otherwise you will strip the thread on the inside. There you go. So exactly. Okay. Alright, that's done. And the last one. Yep, had a small. Sometimes you may not hear it, but you will feel a little notch of some sort. Okay. Covers lid back, well the stand lid, whatever you want to call it, is back. I'll put that back in its place. Alright, it is a useful thing, this. Let's see what's going on here. Why is it? Alright, it's already in there. Right, okay, that's fine. Alright, let's make sure it's switched off. Get this brand new battery fitted in. Hope for the best and hope that it works. Using some AAA GP Ultra. Lids back on. Tighten up the screws. And are we going to sort of see a display? I don't know, because this display's never been tested. So, are we ready for this, everyone? Yeah? Wow! Hey! Hey! Voila! Voila, that is beautiful. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to carry out a couple of tests. Say for instance, that is just absolutely awesome. You know, in all honesty, I don't see the difference between this and the original display. It's pretty much, it looks, the colours and everything else just matches from what I can remember to this. So let's sort of, what can I measure? Let's have a look. Batteries, probably get some batteries, some dodgy batteries. I'll probably use a bench power supply as well, which means that I'll have to unplug something else. So let's do a battery. These are low volt batteries, they're no good. So let's sort of, oh, hang on, I'm on volt AC, that should be on volt DC, right, okay, sorry, that's my mistake. 1.14 volt, so they're going for recycled, so anyway, that's going to be 1.45, more than I thought. 1.45, so that's that. I'm going to switch over to a bench power supply and increase the voltage to, say, my maximum. So let's do that. Looking for something that can use. There should be one with the crocodile clips, so I can. Yep, I've got a set of leads with the crocodile clips here. Let's do this. Onto. All right, so we have. Not a big fan of these probes, you know. Yeah, not big fan of these probes. Right, I'm going to get my fluke probes on because I'm just not sort of happy with these probes. So let's get this fluke on, which is actually attached to this meter. A beautiful display, beautiful display. This might be another video for another day. So, well, I'll turn it on anyway, guys. You can have a look. But it's just absolutely amazing little this in comparison to that. And then the fluke. What's happened? The reason why I got the OLED. I wanted to start using this is because my eyesight's are getting a bit of a messy, you know, so every time I'm turning the backlight on the fluke, and the battery's drain is quite high as soon as you turn the backlight on. So for that reason I decided to sort of start using this, and it turns out to be that there's no display. But there we have it. These are the collections of my multimeters, and there's a little one over there as well, which I use. It's quite portable. It's I think it's a mechanic one, but nothing as near as good as any of these. So let's clamp properly onto this, and I have set to 5.3 volts, and it should be 5.3 volts. Yep. So let's ramp it up to, say, 7. I'll zero it out. Okay. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'll just ramp it up to 32 volts. Okay, so it's displaying, you know, it should be fine. Now there was a bit of an issue where there was back to front, some sort of an issue where if you quickly turn it on, that is an ongoing issue, that. So what we'll do is we'll turn it off for a moment, turn it back on again. So there is a bug on that display, which I think, I can't remember, the chap on EEV blog did sort of state this, but it was a different model than that I think he fixed. Let's depower that. Just leave that on bench. Okay, So yeah, I think to wrap this up, I could the display's working. I can do various other tests and ohm tests and diode tests and all that. The display's working. I just did it for the just for the sake of it, right? Okay, there's nothing to prove here. It works or it doesn't work. That's the situation with the display side of it. So yeah, it's working fine, no problem with that. So let's put it back on the shelf for the moment, but I will be using this now. I can promise you that. Okay. Now, one other thing, I just want to point out to yourself. So I was under the impression that I'm buying an original OLED display from this Chinese website. Okay, and that is AliExpress, and I have a lot of respect for the owner and the website, that they do sort of provide an excellent service. Put that there. Right, but the but is that the advertisement showed that they're selling this flex, the LCD with the flex, right? That with this. Okay, so let me show you on my mobile phone. And it turns out to be that it's a different assembly. So you've got to be careful that when they're showing you things like this, it's absolute nonsense. Don't fall for that little trap. So look at that. See? So it's 45 something plus tax. That did come with free shipping. So let's go into the image. If you compare this with that, it pretty much looks the same. Yeah, but instead, and the description does say new original for Keysight U1273A LCD display. Yeah, original. But it turns out to be that they sent me something different, which other sellers on AliExpress and on the internet on eBay are still selling. So yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment to sort of realise that they've kind of sent me things that they shouldn't have been sending me, because I was expecting to actually reuse this PCB and just change the display, but sadly that hasn't played in my favour, because they've decided to do me over by sending me things that not matching the description. So I'm not sort of going to make too much of a big fuss out of it, but obviously I'm not entirely satisfied, because I'd like to keep things as original to the factory standard as possible, but turns out to be that will not be the case anymore. So that's it, guys. We're wrapping up the video. You look after yourself, take care, and I'll see you soon. Peace.